Hi everyone, welcome to Sunday ID. This is part two of lockdown. So this is the first one where you are actually sitting at home and can't do anything apart from going to school again. We are starting a brand new series. So we have just finished a 4-week series on love, and we are starting a brand new series on what we love. And this week we are kick-starting with a great one. It's really relevant for us at the minute, which is we love community. Um, so Jacob, what is community to you?
Uh, to me, it's the people around me in different situations. My friendship group's community, my church is a community, my youth group's a community, my family's a community. They're just in very different ways as to how intimate I am with the people around me, but they're all people that love and look out for me and me them.
That's good. What about you, Lauren? What does community mean to you?
Pretty much the exact same as Jacob said. So I define it by my friendship group, or people who I see as family or who are family.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just about having people around you who love and support you, who you feel like you can be vulnerable with and be real with, and that can keep you accountable. Why do we need community? Why is it important that we have real friendships where we are authentic and real and accountable with one another? Jacob.
Keeps us in check. It's very easy when you're left to be by yourself, to do that. People in your community, friends, whatever it is, can tell you that that's not all right. It gives you like, it makes you feel good. You get to spend time with people. We're social, and we get to, whether it's physically being there, or in lockdown potentially not. But it gives you that sense of having people around you, being safe.
What about you, Lauren? Why do you think we need friends and we need a sense of community?
I think it's good to have those people you can be vulnerable with. Certainly for me, I know that if I bottle things up, then it doesn't come out right, or I can get angry or upset at people. So it's nice to chat through with people who I can trust. Like Jacob said, making people hold me accountable for things, and also just hanging out with people.
Yeah, I think friends are just important just to help us in life. I mean, if you think about Jesus, like Jesus is God, and yet he chose 12 people to do life with him because he knew like he couldn't do it alone. And if God needed friends, then so do we. And I think in Genesis 2 verse 18 it says it's not good for man to be alone. That's the first time in the Bible, in the creation story, where it says it's not good. Because we weren't created to be isolated beings, and we're created to have friends and be in community and be in family. And that's why it might be painful for some of us when we're in lockdown and in these situations. So I guess my question to you guys is, how can we reach out and connect with friends and be intentional about that, even in lockdown, even in isolation? Jacob.
I think there are obvious answers, but first and foremost, sometimes it takes sacrifice for ourselves. We can message other people, we can call other people, we can do all of that, and we're reaching out. And sometimes it's very easy to sit there going, I don't really fancy talking to anyone today. And actually, you might not feel like it, but I've had moments where I've messaged people, I've had moments where people have messaged me, and it's meant so much to them because of the day they're having, because of the place they're in at that moment. So it's just remembering to look out for the people around you and the people close to you and making that effort.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Lauren?
Definitely in the first lockdown when we had literally no contact with anyone who was just staying at home. I found that Zoom calls, like making a time and sitting there and be able to chat to my youth leader or friends and just taking the time out of my day to speak to them or in the week, it was really helpful. And I looked forward to it. And even though it wasn't the same in no way, I don't know, it was definitely a release of tension. Being around family all the time, you're not going to always talk to them about what's going on. So it's still good to keep in contact.
Yeah. And I think it's exactly what you said, like make a time to do it, like be intentional about it. So say every week, so there's 4 weeks of lockdown, once a week at this time on a Monday, I'm going to ring my friend Timmy or whoever and be intentional about it. Even if you're like what Jacob said, even if you're feeling really rubbish and you don't even know how to express that to someone, it might even help you just talking on the phone and hearing someone else's voice. And we have given the opportunity to see one adult outside, socially distanced. So go for walks with people, like use the opportunities you have. We are so blessed to have that. And just walking and talking to someone is really good. Last question for you guys. How have you experienced community and friendships in your life? And even in lockdown, so from even the first lockdown in March, how have you experienced friendship and support? Lauren?
In the sense of community, I think it's really stood out to me before lockdown is a community. So being able to be at church on Sunday and always gathering and worshipping together. But then the change and shift of that is that so many views a week of people watching the live stream, especially throughout lockdown when we didn't know what was happening. It kind of stood out to me a lot how the church was like a family, and everyone was still making an effort to watch and keep in contact. I thought that was really special.
That's a nice example. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean the youth we had through lockdown was massive for me. I didn't necessarily love every section. This big age gap, you know, not everything is there, but being there with people meant that it was worth it. Having that connection, I thought that in lockdown, and I also thought when you asked us before of a couple of things. One was when I first came to King's and first started doing worship stuff and drumming, and it was all very exciting, but I'd gone from a small church where it might be me drumming and a guitar or something to this big production that was very different. And being in that community of worshippers firstly made me feel special, made me feel part of something. But being in the community of drummers, it was Luke, Ben, Ed, and at that point Jacob Woods, and they helped me as a 13-year-old to develop certain things. And that was a moment that realistically at that point I barely knew them. I wasn't really friends with them like I am now. But that was a community that came around me. And it's the same thing that we keep mentioning, friends and our friendship groups, which yes, that's like a really important community. But obviously at school, I've struggled in the past, and I know like people can't always go, oh yeah, my friendship group. I have one friend might be struggling. That's part of the beauty of having a family. It's part of the beauty of being a church family, that whether you realise it or not, there's always someone, us as youth leaders, we're there that would always happily listen to, talk to, spend time with someone. And that's the thing, it's sometimes being able to look up and see, yes, I've got a community of friends, but I've also got that church community that's actually even more of a community because it's a family, and there's always that person looking out.
That was amazing. Like, just what a way to land. Well done, Jacob. Thank you, those of you that watched it. And I really encourage you to reach out to your friends and even reach out to us, as Jacob said, as youth leaders. Like, we care about you and we want you to be in a good place. So if you need a friend to talk to, please give us a shout. We're always here for you. I hope you have a great week, and I hope lockdown treats you well. Bye.